Oh yes, legends. How's everybody doing? Hope you had a fantastic weekend. Let's analyze all together the price of Bitcoin. Hope you are. Thank you very much. Muy importante. Unmute the mic. Much love to everybody. Thank you very much. No mic, no mic. I think you can hear me now, guys. Thank you very much for that. It is Sunday. Come on. Not Monday yet. We've chilled out on the weekend. We're still sleeping. But we are going to go through the charts here for Bitcoin, okay? And we'll be analyzing the situation. Now, lots to talk about here. We did not claim the higher lows. That means that's a good sign. This range is extending too long. Looks like that this is pretty bullish, guys. I think that there is a good chance that we do take out at least those highs at $92,000 with a potential squeeze to the upside, maybe to get to 93 or so. I'm going to explain a little bit what I'm looking for here. Not interested in the shorts, okay? Not interested in shorting. I do think that we are very, very likely, based on the information that we have, that we're going to take out $92,000, okay? I can explain that through the price action that we've developed here throughout Friday and the weekend. It's all about timing. It's all about the waves and understanding a little bit here this structure that might look bearish, right? It might look like a bear flag, right? Just getting ready for the next leg to the downside. But it seems like that is probably not the case, guys. And it looks like we're going to stretch our legs here. I see this as the highest probability scenario. And that has to be explained, of course, in today's live stream. Of course, taking into consideration the 4-hourly, zooming out and discussing the different levels and patterns and waves that could develop. We're taking a look at CVD divergence, the delta, liquidity. We are taking a look at the news next week that we have Tuesday inflation rate, very important day on Tuesday here. And taking into consideration the liquidity. Let's go through the comment section. Say hello to the beautiful community. Let me know what is going on. Let me know what you think here about what comes first for Bitcoin, guys. 95K plus, right? Plus 95K. Or do we get below 87K, right? So the idea here is, do we push up to this region or do we push down to this region? We are literally in the middle as we speak right now from those two zones that I've mentioned in the poll, right? We got the liquidity above 95K and we got the liquidity below 87K. There's a little bit more liquidity to the downside, but it doesn't mean that we need to go there first. And the structure looks very, very interesting. There's a few patterns that I want to explain in today's live stream on what I would be looking for here to take my next trading position. I mean, I'm in a long already from the lows of this area. I did take some profits. I did not manage to short here. I was not interested in this short. It was an aggressive short, I have to say. We did hit the previous week high, previous week close. We were, speculating on the potential of an ABC, right? I didn't get into this short, guys. If you did, obviously you want to scratch some profits here throughout the weekend. I am still remaining in my long. I actually compounded a little bit more into that long position because I do believe that 92K is going to be hit. So there's no quick shorts for me to be taken in this region, but there could be some interesting shorts as the information does develop. We're going to explain this, okay, throughout the stream. So make sure to smash up that like button if you do enjoy the content. Hola, papito. How are you doing? Much love. Alex. Hello, legends. Hola, Andy. Good to see you, legend. Thomas, much love to you. Crypto by Mattia. CBM. Let's go. Go and check out CBM, guys. He has insane content every single day on his channel. Make sure to go and give him a follow. Crypto by Mattia. It's night in Asia and it's daytime in America. Right. Maybe a little bit late here, Asia time, of course. But we're just doing a weekend prep. All right, for the week. And yeah, we'll keep this stream at just over an hour, maybe 2. We'll see. All right, depending on how much information we can get on the stream. Much love. Feliz Domingo, Beth Maria. Much love to you. Nice to see you here on the stream. CBM. Mike, good morning, legends. Like the video and show some love. Mike, much love to you. Philip, hello. Let's go. Let's go. No mic, no mic. Okay, we solved that. Thank you very much. Happy Sunday. Welcome back, Toddy, Beth Maria, Milo, Thomas. Crypto Gardeners, good Sunday, Andy, and all legends. Let's go. Night, Andy. Good night, my man. Minimum. So 92K short. We're going to have to see the reaction, okay, up there. But yeah, I do think that 92 is going to be hit. Very, very likely. Wait of confirmation. I mean, is it a good SFP level? We're going to talk about a few scenarios. I would actually be more interested in shorts at higher levels. It all depends on how the structure develops, right? It's not, I wish it would be as easy as, say, 92K, we get into a short, right? That would be awesome, right? Get into those groups that just say short at this level or long at this level, right? And that's it. It's not that easy, of course, but we can structure and draw the possibilities on how the price could move and how I want it to move. There's only a few scenarios on how the price can move, depending on the movement that it does. If it does match with the possible waves, then of course we're looking for that trade. Vamos, Ma, much love. Let's go. Morning, Anup, much love to everybody. Okay, so now I think it is time for us to a quick reminder on the disclaimer. Okay, this content for educational purposes only and not financial advice. The information provided is not guaranteed to be accurate or complete. Always conduct your own research before making any financial decision, guys. Okay, muy importante. Quick reminder as well on what you have here in the description, guys. All right, we have created this group, all right, and we've combined the different groups so it can be all in one place. And you have the opportunity right now to have 30 days free access. Of course, you need to follow some instructions and you just need to send me that DM, okay, of promo. As you can see, following the instructions on the 14th of January, we are closing down this promotion, okay? Make sure to send me the DM if you are interested in joining this group, because we've got the coaches, the education, the video updates, the setups, and all sorts, guys. We've been working on this for many months to combine the different groups as well. And you also get the trading playbook, guys, for free, which how to read the structure and high probability setups all in a trading book, okay, which you can also access. Let me know, send me the DM right away, and we'll look to give you the book and get you that 30-day trial, of course, in the community. Of course, you need to follow the instructions, okay? Said that, let's dive in through the price of Bitcoin. Make sure to get your votes in here. All right. Make sure to get your votes in on what do you believe comes next for the price of Bitcoin. Right. Do we get morning Big Don 510? Much love 512. Let's go. Let's go. Let's go. Let's go. I've sent the DM after Devil stream, but they were not wanting to assist me, it seems. Don't worry. Send it here. It's okay. Devil is also a coach in the same community. We've got a couple of coaches there. Just send me the DM and I'll sort you out. Okay, we'll look to sort you out. Okay, it's just you can send it to me, to Devil. It doesn't really matter. I'll try to assist you before if I can. All right, let's go. Let's go. Bitcoin. 15-minute time frame, or do we zoom out on the 4-hourly? What different movements are we looking for? 15 minutes is where we have the meat and potatoes, I have to say. This is, this is the important movement that we have right there. Do we get continuation to the downside? Do we tap 92K plus and then roll over? Or do we actually pop out here entering into the week? This is what we need to talk about. I do see, and I do like the idea that the probabilities are pretty nice at the moment to actually take out potentially the $92,000 level. All right. And it all has to do on the timing of this range. All right. If we do see something bearish, which would have to be coming from this pivot, if we are structuring this movement right over here to the upside. And just a quick note, guys, I am in the long. There was a long that was provided here on the stream on Thursday. I didn't catch any short positions from this movement. All right, but yeah, there were scalps, day trades. I'm not interested in shorts in this zone. I'm not interested in a short from here, despite the price moving to lower prices. And I'm in a long position, which I managed to compound here ever so slightly. Profits were taken. This was a long position that was mentioned on Thursday on stream. We did manage to get that SFP. And throughout the next couple of days, you know, basically taking some profits and compounding a little bit on this long position. $14,000 realized profit, 3.7 unrealized at the moment. Of course, I would leave this one with the potential of not only going to 92K, but maybe heading to $95,000, right? I want to keep some of that trade open. This trade was from Thursday. And I do see it does have potential, and that potential, of course, needs to be explained in today's live stream. Okay, so overall, I've been providing the updates in the community, also throughout the weekend on Saturday, analyzing this range and also explaining the people that, you know, in the community that I do like the idea of coming all the way up to hit this high. Especially with the information that we have today on Sunday. Throughout Saturday and Sunday, we are extending this movement to the upside. Now, if I am looking at this, we talked about this movement to the downside throughout Thursday and Friday, basically, that I do see this movement being a finished structure. It's a finished move to the downside, and it's a finished structure. I was talking about this on Friday. This movement that we had throughout Thursday and Friday was very, very likely a separated wave, right? Nothing to do with this movement to the downside, not a combination, not a wave 4 or any of that, okay? So now it's all about understanding this movement to the upside, right? What do we have from this pivot low? If I think that this could be a finished move to the downside, we had two options, the bearish option being a contracting leading diagonal where you can fit in nicely the 5 waves to the downside. Your wave 5 is smaller than your wave 3. That's what you want to see. In a contracting diagonal, you can leave the support zone. That is totally fine. That actually usually happens. So everything fits nice that this could be a diagonal. This is for the bearish case scenario. You can't fit a nice solid multiple 1-2s, okay, especially after this movement taking out the last lower high. You can't fit a solid impulse in this movement to the downside. Could you fit a contracting diagonal in a wave 3? Well, no, because a wave 3 cannot be a contracting diagonal. So there's nothing very impulsive or a very solid, you know, motive wave that you can be counted here. Only the diagonal, and a leading diagonal has the lowest probabilities out of the motive waves inside of leading move, right? In a wave 1 or a wave A. Of course, you always need to consider the options, right? It is possible that this is a leg to the downside that is bearish and could get that continuation to the downside in the next coming days. You always need to take into consideration, of course, the bearish case, even though I don't see it as the highest probability scenario, especially with this information. Could it be bearish later on? Well, this is what I want to talk about. The bullish case scenario is that we have a WXY structure, okay, where you have this scenario right over here. We can get this out of the way. We don't need this at the moment. All right, we'll just explain the different scenarios that could happen. This is locked for some reason. Anyway, let's go. WXY, a corrective structure to the downside. Bit complex. Nobody likes these kind of waves and formations. They're a bit complex, of course, to see, but you have a zigzag to the downside. Your wave X being a triangle. It is a triangle. You can fit a triangle here. You've got high, higher, low, lower, high, low, higher, low, and lower, high right there. And then you have the move to the downside in another zigzag, double zigzag to the downside here, hitting the 1-to-1 extension very, very nicely from the top of your wave W to the end of W to the end of your wave X. We hit that 1-to-1 extension with a lot of support that we had in this level for that SFP that was taken on Thursday, and still remaining in that long position, as I do see that potential of taking out 92k. So I'm a little bit, my bias is a little bit to the upside. Okay, I have to say, this is why in this zone, not interested in taking any short positions. I mean, unless you're getting into little scalps of $500 or, a few $100s, not even that. So I'm not interested in those moves. So as we do have the possibility of this being corrective or a leading diagonal. Now, when we do take a look at both, the correction always has higher probability against a leading diagonal. With that said, where we at here with the market, the probabilities, okay, of actually moving down from here are there's less probability at the moment than moving to the upside that has higher probability. This is with the information that we have currently, especially the information that we have in this zone. It does look pretty okay to take out 92k. Now, that is only looking at the probability side, okay, which is a corrective structure will always have priority against a leading diagonal. But then most importantly is the information that you get next. So next information that we do have here with this price action, we were speculating on the possibility of forming an ABC to the upside here, okay, right over there, which, yeah, we got the leg down. We did not take out these lows. This does look like an impulsive move on the lower time frame. We can check that, of course, later on, or maybe now on the 15-minute time frame. But this, you have a little bit of a classic impulsive move to the downside, which looks pretty solid, right? You got 1 2 1 2, your 3, your 4 5 4 5. You got the center where you have your wave 3, right? You got double 1 2 3, double 4 5. Really, really nice as a impulsive move to the downside. So you might think, well, if this is an impulsive move to the downside, don't you expect a lower high, okay, corrective structure and continuation to the downside? I would say yes, you know, this is something that you would be looking at, but you need to zoom out and understand the other waves, the other structure. Something that bothers me about this movement to the upside in this ABC is that the C wave does look a little bit like a 3-wave structure, right? It does look the bounce, the correction, and then a quick sharp move to the upside, and then the correction. A C wave in a zigzag needs to finish in a 5-wave move. You need a 5-wave move to the upside, and this does look very, very 3-wavy. So there's something here that doesn't quite match nicely here for this to be a normal ABC zigzag, which is the 3-wave structure to the upside, right? It does look very, very 3-wavy. If it looks 3-wavy, it might be a 3-waver. So this does not fit in here for an ABC movement to the upside. Could it be a double zigzag where you have a zigzag here, correction in wave X, and a zigzag? You had a little bit of a steep correction here, and in a double zigzag, your wave X usually retraces to the 382 50% Fibonacci, and then it gets the leg to the upside. It doesn't retrace down to the 7/8. Usually you would form a sideways correction here to then move to the downside, which is an option that we can talk about. But for the moment, we're going to fit in here the other scenarios. So this ABC movement to the upside, right? Anybody that would have some basic knowledge would say, okay, movement down, 3-wave up, right? We should be following through here to the downside at the moment, right? But that is not the case. Well, it is the weekend. We got a big fat range. So the problem is here, if this were to be a 3-wave corrective move, right, from this movement to the downside, and we want to see continuation to the downside, which would mean an impulsive move, that ticks all right. We've got a nice leg down that does cover as an impulse. And then we have this long range here. It's getting a little bit long So as you can see, if this were to be your wave 1 to the downside, right now, this movement is extending a lot. It is extending a lot. I would say it would be easy 6 times longer. As you can see, it's already over 5 times longer here when we do take a look here at the timing, okay? When we do take a look at the timing, it's already 5 times longer. And when we do analyze the time, then this movement to the downside as an impulse, this is extending a little bit too long for it to be a wave 2, right? For this to be a wave 2 and break down in a wave 3, it is taking a little bit too long here, as we can see with the timing tool. So when we do analyze the different structures that could be developed in a sideways corrective structure, so if this were to be a leading diagonal to the downside as explained, all right, this is a leading diagonal, all right, and we are counting this as a 1 2 3 4 5. This is your wave 1 or wave A, just to potentially roll down later on. Is there a possibility of this being a sideways correction where you have a 3-wave move to the upside and you are, literally forming this as your wave W, zigzag, your wave X, and now you possibly have your, wave Y that is on the formation. Now, this would have to be either a flat, okay, formation, or a triangle formation that could develop still, even though it's not looking great, I have to say. Okay, if this is your wave X, your triangle right now, it's just, unless we form some lower highs and higher lows throughout the next coming hours, it's not very symmetrical. As you can see, fast wave X, this is really getting extremely long in time. It's not forming any kind of pattern, so it doesn't look very, very beautiful here for the massive big breakdown based on that sideways WXY. So on the other hand, we have the bullish scenarios. Bullish scenarios, of course, are going to be taken a look at here right away. Yeah, as explained here, a zigzag, double zigzag. Yeah, it just doesn't look good for the moment for this to be a combination WX. Here you would want to see kind of a flat, right, to then finish your Y wave, then you roll down. But that was not the case. It is the weekend, just a slow uptrend momentum that we've had here throughout the weekend. Triangle, it is extending a little bit too long, so you have a low and you have a high. It's just, it wouldn't fit nicely unless you form a higher low, lower high, higher low here, and then you have an A, B, C, D, E. Your A wave is like extremely longer than the waves that could develop in the next coming hours. It just doesn't fit nice. It doesn't fit nice for the bearish case. So everything is pointing out that the probabilities are actually higher to take out that 92K, just based on the structure here that is getting developed. So what are the bullish scenarios? If the price were to roll over from here, I personally don't have a short entry. Where I want to short is higher, and I want to explain how I want to see the price develop. All right, I want to explain how the price needs to develop for me to take the short position. If we were to roll over, we hit that naked point of control at the moment, as we can see. So we do have that. There was a naked point of control here. We just got getting a little reaction here at this naked point of control. As we can see, that is the point of control from Friday. Naked point of control just been tapped, getting a little reaction. Still not a short that, I'm just not interested in shorting here. If you've taken it as, I would take it as a scalp. I would have taken it as a scalp entry. But yeah, we did hit that point of control here from Friday, as you can see. And it just got a little reaction, correction of to $300. Not one of those shorts that I see, okay, you know, short and we come down to claim the lows. We're not in that area. If you're taking any shorts at any of these levels, I would treat them as scalps and be defensive. I'm not interested in shorts anyway in this area. I'm going to explain exactly what I am looking for the short position. So make sure to stay tuned with that. Bullish case scenario, we do have a few things. I prefer to see this movement to the downside as a correction, okay? Especially with the information that we have right over here. Now, this movement to the downside can be a contracting diagonal, but I am more interested, all right? I am more interested in this zone and what could come later. As I explained at the beginning of the stream, I do see high probability in taking out this high. So now the question is, for me, I am looking for two scenarios. Take out this high, and the scenario that I don't know that is going to happen, will it be a ABC to the upside, or will it be a 1-2? You're building some 1-2s here. You break in a third wave, 4-5, 4-5, correction, 4 and then 5, and all of this becomes an impulsive move to the upside. I do not know which one is going to happen. However, I do have directional bias, which is taking out 92k, and it all has to do on how we develop the next movement. Now I can picture this scenario and I can draw it here for you and look at the waves and the levels of interest, and then obviously it's if we get that formation, okay, I will explain where I'm looking for the position. So the situation here about this being a corrective move and then this being bearish, the problem with the leg down that can be an impulse is this extended move. Right, it's 6-7 times longer from the correction that we got here, the movement down that we got from Friday. So I'm not seeing this bounce from the weekend being related to this movement. All right, it's an individual move, because it's just, if we would have formed a 3-wave structure here and rolled over, right, then I would have said, okay, 1, 2, 3. Right, or you know, we literally, or ABC, it doesn't matter. But if we would have moved down, then I would have related all of this as a wave, right, as a structure getting developed. But as we are extending so long here, then eventually I need to say, all right, the probabilities of this being related to this to get a big move to the downside has lower probabilities at this stage. It's just well extended, right? You want a little bit of symmetry. Each waves, you want them to be a little bit similar on the corrections in size, all right, from the previous waves. It can be double the amount, triple the amount of time, but when it starts extending to 4-5 times longer than the previous wave, then you know you definitely have a time problem here, which only affects the probabilities, okay? Obviously the structure is what leads the way at the end of the day, but this is why it does look pretty okay to take out these highs, because the probabilities of this being an individual movement from this movement down are higher at this moment, okay? And this means that this structure being a corrective wave from this movement down has less probability. And this is just looking at this momentum. That doesn't mean it needs to be 100%. It's a probability thing, right? Trading and analyzing is just about understanding the probabilities of the movements, right? Where if you can position yourself, this is why I am positioned here. I took some profits, obviously, because this was a day trade. But with the information that we're getting, I'm happy to still maintain in that long position, and actually added ever so slightly after taking the profit. So I'm having my position beneath $90,000, as you can see here from that position of last Thursday, right? I've been adding a little bit to this position to see if we can maximize the movement here to the upside that we explained on Thursday. So bearish case scenario. Sorry, no, yeah. Well, we're going to continue with this. Okay, we are going to continue with this throughout the future of the channel, guys. I will reduce once we get a bigger community, of course, on the Telegram. Once people actually join the community, we are going to be focusing a little bit more on the community side. Okay, this position was entered here on the live stream. We will be getting more positions, of course, throughout the live streams in the next coming weeks. And I will be updating the community more consistently. That's what it's all about, building a community, and obviously throw the education there. Different video updates with the different coaches, of course, providing altcoin analysis, Bitcoin analysis, and the possible setups, and updating about those setups, of course. Now, remember that you do have the 30-day trial, guys. This is finishing on the 14th of January. You can get a 30-day trial. You just need to follow the instructions, guys. You got it down below. Okay, you'll be getting the free trading book, how to read structure and high probability setups, and 3-day free access in the private community. You just need to follow some steps. Make sure to DM me the word promo in the Telegram so you can get those 30-day trials and the free trading playbook. Okay, you have it right there. It is from, we are going to finish this trial, of course, on the 14th of January. If you are interested, make sure to send me that message. This is where you're going to get consistent updates throughout the near future on the setups. All right, and obviously we will still be doing streams, of course, but we are leading more into the community in the near future. So let's go right away through the bullish case. Just want to explain a little bit of this movement to the upside. This structure had me a little bit bothered throughout the weekend, where we got the push to the upside right over here, and then we got this correction because it was very three-wavy. Once you get a three-wave that overlaps this pivot, you understand that there's no impulse on the formation here, right? Because in an impulse, you want bang, 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 right? You want the third wave to have a shallow correction, not hit the lows, right, of your wave one, because then it's just likely you're going to take out those highs, right? This is literally what happened here. If you get that three-wave move, this is the powerful move that you want to continue, and a shallow bounce to just continue down. Then you say, okay, price is moving down impulsively, and you're probably going to get continuation after the bounces later on, right? Well, that was not the case here. As you can see, the moment that you got that movement to the upside to overlap the pivot low right there, right? And this is just information education, right? Just so, because you need to learn how to do things on your own at the end of the day, right? Instead of following 10 different traders and YouTubers out there. So education is always good to throw out there, because you'll learn something, you will detect it, and then then you have your own different strategies and possible setups. So the fact that we took out that low and then we moved down here, the third wave didn't get continuation, right? You can see how you overlap. You don't want overlap in your wave one with your wave four. So as you got that pullback, the pullback becomes interesting. Stop loss here, give it a bit of room, but obviously you are targeting the highs right there at least, right? It's kind of a day trade. Now with that movement is when we zoomed out and we said, okay, do we have the possibility of this being a three-wave structure, right? A correction, we're going to form an impulse, preferably taking out these lows and then the bounce, and then getting maybe continuation to the downside. That was not the case. We did not take out the lows here. And what bothered me about this movement is this movement to the upside looks very, very three-wavy. Okay, so the bullish case scenario to take out $92,000 highs, literally what we're looking at here is a possible running flat. This is what fits in better for all of this to be a running flat right over here. You got the movement to the upside, very nice, and then you got a three-wave down, Three wave up looks very three wavy to get above the start of the A wave, which is this movement to the downside, and then a 5 wave move down. That's what you want to see in a C wave, either in a zigzag or a flat. So it does kind of fit in very, very nicely that all of this would be a running flat structure. So with that said, it does look nice for this to be your wave A or your wave 1, right? And all of this, which is the flat, your wave B or your wave 2. And what we would be seeing here is the possibility of multiple 1-2s being built before you get the big wave to the upside. It is true that we are getting a bit of bear. Well, we got bullish CVD divergence at the moment. Seems like on Bybit they want to get into big amounts of shorts at. Yeah, we've got some interesting shorts here entering on Bybit throughout the last hour, which is it's nice to see, because we've been having actually some bearish CVD divergence. However, yeah, it's interesting how many shorts have been entering now on Bybit, which is kind of bullish. It is kind of bullish. Look at this waterfall that we're getting. There's about 8 to 10 million throughout the last hour. So you got 1.8, 7.3 on the delta. Lots of shorts entering right now, trying to predict that this is a corrective, right, lower high, which is very, very interesting to see. Lots of shorts entering right now. We've got higher lows on the price action, lower lows on the CVD. Now the target is literally the local high, so unless we continue forming more lower lows locally here with the rest of exchanges, would be nice. That is what it could build a powerful move to the upside. So if this continues to build up and we get more bullish CVD divergence locally and following up, then that is when it looks very, very interesting here for the multiple 1-2 to get that big leg to the upside, potentially taking out 92k plus. So yeah, the fact that this is the momentum that we have from this low, when we consider what is going on in here, this is what fits better. The movement up, the flat structure. So you got your wave 1 or your wave A, and here you have your wave 2 or your wave B with this movement down. With this getting developed, now you would arguably discuss that you have a flat right over here. So you got another move up, a flat structure. So this would be your wave 1, your wave 2. And right over here, you would have to see this as multiple 1-2s getting built up. Preferably, we do not take out the higher lows that have been formed here just a few hours ago. I think this is an important pivot that the bears do not want to reach to maintain this bullish structure, because the moment you take out that higher low, which we're just $300 away, then that's going to be a problem here. So I am looking at this to be a wave 1 and a wave 2. This can be another wave 1 and another wave 2. And at this point, just because we've stretched out so much, it is important to not take out this higher low. The main reason why is because if we are looking for a flat, the B wave here would have extended too much. And this would be actually a little bit bearish locally, right? This is where you have a little bit of weakness if that higher low at 90,500 is met. B wave in a flat, you just want it to get above ever so slightly to the 1236, 1382 extension, right? So let's just do a count here on this B wave, right? For example, we do get the A wave from the pivot low. Sorry, my bad. Wrong wave. The A wave, which is the movement to the downside, right? And then we reverse here. you want to see, okay, the B wave reach somewhere in this zone, maximum the 1382. You do not want to hit the 1.618 extension because that obviously is too stretched out for a B wave in a flat, right? The B wave of a flat just takes out the start of the A wave by a little bit, right? Maximum 1382 extension. So when we do take a look at this local move to the upside that we've had on Bitcoin, and this is like really local, if this is going to maintain bullish market structure, I don't see a solid impulse in this movement to the upside eventually. It's still very 1-2-1-2. It's important to maintain the bullish market structure that we've developed here. This is like the curvature, right, that you want to see before getting a nice rally. So the crucial point, the failure point that we have right now for the bulls is literally $90,500. If we were to take, we just $300 away, right? And this is because the weekend has been very rangy. The fact that if we are believing that this is a wave one, ABC flat here, and this is another wave one, and this is another two, you're literally looking for all of this to be something very bullish potentially, right? So your major failure point here is $90,500. Now, if we do hit the lows, why it's not looking too great for this to be a flat is because if this has to be your A wave from this high to the low, and this is your B wave, right? C wave, and you would be looking for a recovery here. This B wave has well overextended the 1.618 extension. I haven't measured this, but yeah, more than twice the length. So that is not, that is not common for a B wave. So very low probability that if you take out this low, this would be a flat. So it is important to maintain above 90,500 as we speak here to maintain this bullish market structure. So a multiple 1-2 here actually looks pretty interesting. Invalidation would be this low. You do not want that low to be taken. We don't have anything impulsive from here. It is the weekend. It is weekend price action, so we always want to take that with a pinch of salt. But the only bullish structure that we would have here from the lows on Friday would be multiple 1-2s. Yeah, there's nothing. The only bullish scenario would be a contracting diagonal. However, your wave 5 is potentially longer already. Yeah. So yeah, there's no impulse. There's no contracting diagonal. For the bulls, they need to defend 90,500. They want to form a higher low in this region to then maybe explode out. I have to say, this is the kind of momentum that ends up potentially moving to the upside with a big move. This is your invalidation. So, any price action that comes beneath this level, then it's going to be a little bit tricky because you want the bullish momentum to start from this pivot. So it would be 1 ABC flat, that's 2, another 1-2, another 1-2, and end up moving up very aggressively to take out $92,000, I would say, before the start of Monday. Just because the relation here of this being a bearish bounce, and I know you're going to hate me on this, guys, but yeah, the fact that I do get this, I do get that we've moved down here, and when you get this bouncing structure that looks like a bear flag, we're holding like the higher low support here. you know, the general idea would be to believe that this is, you know, this is a bearish move. We're going to get the breakdown continuation, right? It just would be the natural human instinct, right? Watching the chart, right? This is, you know, pretty aggressive move down. This is very choppy bounce. We're going to like lose the levels here and start breaking down, entering into Monday. But as explained, it looks more interesting for the bullish case to get a kind of a big move up here before, I would say before we open Monday, or as we open Monday, maybe get another 1-2 here. And I would say if it does take out $90,500, it won't be looking too great, because, you know, if you do take out 90,500, you need to go with the information that you have, right? Level by level. It would be very, very challenging. There is actually a case here that you can, you know, ultimately the most important one. Yeah, hang on a minute. Just coming up here with a few scenarios, guys. Bear with me here, because I am literally doing the analysis fresh as we go. But yeah, ultimate level would be this one. So the main reason why you could squeeze in here a 5-wave move, even though there is overlap, and this is the 15-minute chart, guys. Okay, so you could squeeze in here a contracting leading diagonal. So I mean, yeah, you could technically still take out this higher low and still be bullish. The ultimate pivot would be this one, 90,250. So could be interesting. You know, they you know, it could be interesting. If you were to take out this low, I would probably look to execute a possible long, because despite the information that we have here, the probabilities in breaking down are actually lower, and the probabilities of moving up to take out 92k are actually higher. So yeah, if we were to come down to 90,500, I would still consider the 1-2 and a 1-2 here, just because you can fit in a 5-wave contracting diagonal here. Even, yeah, I mean, this would have to be your, yeah, your wave 2 would have to be here. So this would have to be some kind of a sideways correction. You could fit one in, because from this pivot low to this high to this low, yeah, no, sorry, my bad. This movement is actually longer. Your wave 2 would have to be from here. I'm just looking at the possibility that if we do take out this low, could there be a higher low from here? All right, just trying to come here with the possibilities of this movement. Yeah, this would have to be the scenario. Some kind of a diagonal, which looks absolutely awful, I have to say, because there's been movement here to the downside. But yeah, there is a way of counting this movement as a contracting diagonal. So I would actually be quite interested in a potential scalp long if we do get that sweep of these lows, because that would be, because the idea here is that you have wave 1, wave 2, right? We're looking for that movement to the upside, and this would be, if you do take out this low, it could be here throughout the stream, and we do get a reaction, you know, I would easily say that this could be your second wave too. It is crucial to actually hold this pivot. This one actually, with the information that we have, can technically be hit. So let's see if we do get a movement down, get a little reaction here, and that this is your invalidation. Target zone, I would say, would be 92k. We need a reaction. We need to get back above here. Could be interesting. Could be interesting here. Probably going to get this on stream. Obviously, when you get the push up, you want to push down. So let's see if we do claim these levels. That would be coming in at the golden pocket zone. Yeah, a bit more than the golden pocket. Interesting area. Let me just take a look at the previous day. Value levels, which we did break. They might actually hold as support. Yeah, it could be interesting. Could be interesting, this area. We just literally broke above previous day value zone throughout today. Previous day, which is Saturday, I mean, it's a very, very small range. But coming down here as a fake out could be very, very interesting. Let's see, we need a reaction bounce. If we do get that pullback, I would consider that this momentum could actually continue. So getting that movement down here, getting the reaction, invalidation would be this pivot. And look for this possibility, right? The momentum to the upside. We'll have to see. We'll have to see. Well, that's the idea here. Eventually, your wave twos, you like them to get a pullback to the 50% to the 7/8 Fibonacci. So naturally, if this were to be another 1 and 2, the deeper you pull back, and if you sweep up some higher lows, the better for that reaction, and then maybe move up. So that's coming into the golden pocket 7/8 Fibonacci from this movement, right? So when you do take a look at this movement up, this correction did hit 50% to the golden pocket zone, right? So from here to here, yeah, preferably golden pocket, because then you sweep up these higher lows. Let's see, that would be ideal. Ideal. Let's see if we do get that movement down, get a reaction, get lots of shorts entering, which kind of is the case. Lots of shorts entering here. And get some new fresh bullish CVDs. Preferably. Lots of shorts entering here on Bybit. I mean, this is good. The fact that we're getting shorts entering here is actually very, very good for the bulls. The problem would be getting longs here. If you get lots of longs entering here, and you got lower highs on price action and higher highs on the CVD, which, let's double check here. We did get them. I mean, on Bybit, we did get them. So it's very, very important that we do get lots of shorts entering here at the highs. Yeah, so on Bybit, we did get higher highs on the CVD from this pivot of Friday. Not on the rest of exchanges. Now we're getting the shorts entering right now. So let's see if there's going to be some absorption going on. A little bit slow. I have to say, I'm not interested in any shorts here, guys, locally, right? I'm not interested in shorts personally myself, regardless if the price were to break down. For me, it would be a missed short position. You know, for me, there's no setup for a short here. I mean, unless you like sniped the naked point of control here, which was from Friday's price action. Unless you entered, like, you know, we're hitting a high volume node and you kind of snipe at a short here. at the naked point of control here from Friday. You know, as a very aggressive entry. But I just don't see, I'm not interested in getting into these $300-400 moves, right? I do see some bullish momentum here potentially being built up. So the shorts, I would have to take the shorts from higher. For me, if with the price ends up breaking down from here, for me it's a miss short. It would be a miss short position, and I would miss out. I just don't have a short entry here. The only short is the, you know, would have been the aggressive, you know, touch of the point of control here from Friday, which is, you know, you tap the level, you enter, right? Yeah. So yeah, let's see how we come down here. We're still very rangy. It is the weekend, of course. We are just a few hours away from Monday. It would be nice. We're getting the movement down here. It is absolutely crucial that if we do get down to this area, we actually recover and we do not take out this low, because then if this low is taken, then we have a little bit of a problem. Then we would have a little bit of a problem for sure. So any swing day trade to swing short positions would have to be higher, guys. You know what I would be looking at here, because I'm interested more in a bigger move, if possible, right? Really not too interested. And if it ends up rolling down here, you know, for me it's a short, it's a miss short. I don't have a solid entry here in this area. So where would be a solid entry? Well, as I do see that there's a good chance that we do take out 92k, unless we take out 90,300, 90,250. This low over here needs to be respected in this zone, because if not, we're probably forming 3-wave up and a complex, you know, sideways correction. All of this would be part of a corrective structure, very, very likely. And then I would be interested in looking for shorts later on if we were to take out 90,300. So if we tap 90,500, we get a reaction. Would actually be interested in adding to my long position, or maybe getting into a new long to maybe get that 1-2-1-2 idea. Preferably we sweep those lows at 90,500 for a new trade, just because I like it when we sweep highs or lows, and I understand that this pivot needs to maintain. So getting this movement down to sweep up these lows and getting a little reaction bounce, this would be my invalidation. Long entry, I would be targeting the highs and $92,000, right? This would be the risk to reward kind of setup that I would be looking at. And you know, if the price does take out this low, this higher low, and we get no reaction, and we get a pretty solid move to the downside, then the bounce will be interesting. Then the bounce, I would say, I would have to flip bearish here. I would have to flip bearish, because then I would say that all of this is a, you know, complex combination, even though I don't like it too much, of a wave W and a zigzag. You got the movement down that would have to be a wave X, quick wave X. And here we could be looking at 3-wave up, 3-wave down, sweep up the lows, and then maybe gets a rally to finish a flat structure in a wave Y, something like that, and then it ends up rolling over here throughout Monday or Tuesday. Yeah, it's pretty, you know, if we do take out this low, I would say that, you know, an extension of this range could happen, could fake out, you know, the breakdown, right, and then come back up. I would be looking at how this develops, of course, because a sideways WXY could definitely happen. So we'll need a little bit of more information eventually, because then I would say, all right, this wave is likely coming to its end stages, and then would be looking for a short. If I do see something clear, of course, the first people to know would be the community. I don't have any quick short at the moment. I'm actually in favor of the price taking out 92k. So with this information that I have, I can't get into a short. I'm actually more interested in looking for this potentially to be multiple 1-2s, and if we were to sweep that low, I would be happy to join along this tight invalidation and would give it a chance. Would give it a chance to take out $92,000. So yeah, I've got lots of shorts entering the market at the moment, at least in the last hour, which is interesting. I don't have any good solid short at the moment. Information, we would have to take out 90,250, and that's when I realized that there is weakness. Then I would take into consideration the leading diagonal here as your wave 1 or your wave A, and that all of this structure, if 90,300 is taken, 250, that this is probably a sideways correction, which we're looking to end up breaking down later on. But as we do have the zigzag here to the upside, the wave X, this would have to be individual to this, and then maybe all of this a flat. Yeah, this would be best. We're gonna have to see, but then this pump would be interesting for a short. If you get 3 wave up, 3 wave down, big pump, just to sweep up these local highs, maybe stretch a little bit more, I would be looking for that short position here. Currently, with the information, I have no short. No short. We'll be looking at how the price develops in the next coming hours. On the other side, this is like really looking at what's going on right now, right? But we can picture a little bit or the other scenarios that we do have, right? Zooming out a little bit and looking for, okay, what if we do form a higher low right now and we start pumping aggressively and we break out here? What we need to do, I'm going to explain what I need to see on the chart to be looking for the short position, potentially at levels of resistance right now. And if you do like that, of course, if I do see the short before, okay, that I can enter safely with good risk management, where to put my stop loss, depending on how the price moves eventually throughout the next coming hours between now and tomorrow morning. I will be updating the community first. Community first. Always, if I cannot go on YouTube, it will be easier for me to just look at the charts and just send a message or, post some screenshots and the possible setups, guys. Remember that you do have a 30-day trial right now, guys, which is active. You just need to DM me the word promo, all right? And we can get you 30-day free community access and the trading book. You just need to follow some instructions, of course, which you have here in the description. This is only going to be till the 14th of January. You get a free trading book as well that we've been working on for the last few months, myself and Devilled, which goes through how to read the structure and the high probability setups. That's in a trading book that will be sent to you for free. And also access to the community for 30 days, guys, that we've been working very hard to combine everything, all the different products that we've had, combine them into one with the different coaches, altcoin setups, analysis, all sorts there, all right, in the community. And this is only going to be free till the 14th of January, okay? You need to follow the instructions. Make sure to DM me the word promo so we can look to get you in, okay? Now, I want to go through a little bit of the where shorts could be interesting as a swing, as a day trade to a swing trade, because right now, yeah, it's not looking too pretty to have any attempts in possible swing trades, because with the information that I have on the chart, you know, literally, there is higher probability to take out $92,000 until we actually take out 90,250. That's the moment where things can change, where this could be a sideways correction leading diagonal to the downside, and then obviously shorts will be looking interesting to find, right? But for the moment, with the information that we have, it looks interesting for the bullish case to take out $92,000. I want to explain a little bit of the bullish case scenario and how, you know, how this area would be looking good for look for shorts potentially. That's going to be explained now on the stream as well in the next coming minutes. Let's take a look at the poll. Let me just go quickly through the comment section. So frustrated market. I know the market is, we need to adapt. We need to adapt. I did not get into any shorts. I didn't catch this movement to the downside, even though, you know, not massive, but I would say at least $1,000 is an okay trade already. If you can get at least $1,000 of a move on Bitcoin, that's where it's interesting. Getting movements of $300-400 is a little bit too small, right? So I am interested in looking for movements of 1,000 plus, right? Preferably $2,000, $3,000, even $4,000 are the interesting movements where we can actually make some pretty nice gains. Unfortunately, with this price action, I can tell you the pivots, right, that need to actually hold for the bullish case and for the bearish case. The bulls do not want to be, you know, the bears don't want, the bulls want to defend this level. Okay, the bulls want to defend 90,250. That's the level that needs to be defended. There is a possibility, which is kind of weird to think that through the weekend, is it possible to build up multiple 1-2s? Absolutely. I mean, when volatility kicks in is Sunday evening entering into Monday. That's when it starts kicking in. And the fact that we are in Sunday right now, I remember on Friday I actually said if we do take out these lows and we bounce throughout the weekend, it could be interesting for shorts. But yeah, with the information that we have, with the price action, I take that away because, you know, restructuring everything and the timing, it does actually look good for $92,000. Okay, so not interested in shorts here, by the way. We did not take out the lows or get very, very close to them, and which would have been, you know, maybe would have changed the scenario, get the bounce, and maybe look for shorts, but that was not the case. And an ABC flat here fits very, very nicely because the movement up here does look very three-wavy. So that's something that bothers me. If you're looking at a zigzag in an ABC, your C wave, you want to see some kind of a 5-wave move to the upside, which, yeah, I you know, this does look very much like a 3-waver. And, you know, what makes more sense here eventually is looking at this movement to the upside to be the impulse, either in wave 1 or wave A, right? And this is a flat, running flat. 3-wave down, 3-wave up, impulse down. Perfect for this to be a wave 2 or a wave B. Anyway, let's talk about a little bit. I'm going to go through the comment section and then I'll talk about what I want to see here to take shorts. The only zone that I would be interested in looking for shorts is beyond $92,000, you know, even up to $93,000 would be that a zone where it could be interesting to start looking for shorts, not meaning taking it. And I'm going to explain a little bit why based on, you know, what we have here in this zone. All right, but first of all, let's go through the so frustrated market. It is indeed. Mark Dutch, much love to you, brother. Thank you very much for joining on a Sunday on a live stream. Baby Genius, what's up, fam? Andy, I've summoned you this morning, I swear. I've been looking on this same Coinbase chart. Much love to you, Baby Genius. Mark Dutch, how you doing, my man? Nice to see you around. Hope you had an awesome weekend. So many ugly lows. Forget the wave nonsense. You would have to come in and give me an apology if we do get above 92k and beyond. Okay. Forget the wave nonsense. Yeah, wave can be a lot of nonsense. You know, usually you get the people that don't understand the waves that saying that it's nonsense, right? It is complex, but at the end of the day, it does show you the probabilities. Okay. Of course, it's only probabilities. You can be completely wrong. I've been wrong many times, but I've been right many times also, right? More than wrong. So it does give you that edge. And I do get so many ugly lows here. This, like, so many ugly lows. I'm not sure if you're talking about the recent lows. And obviously, where the eyes are going to be popping is the liquidity, right? How can they be, you know, a movement up? You know, it's just looking so ugly. Look at the liquidity beneath 87k. Are you blind, or what's the matter with you, right? Look at the liquidity. How can you believe that something is going to pump from here, right? You blind or what? I get it. I do get it. It's just looking at understanding the local structure, guys. Understanding the local structure. You know, I have to say, if you ask me with this current price action, and you put a gun on my head and you said, where to, 92k or 89.2k? I would have to say this, you know, 92k. So anyway, based on what I explained. Now, let's go through the comment section, because I think it's about time. I need to give a little bit of love here in the comment section. Come on, man. I've been going through the local price action of Bitcoin. I need to point out the levels as well. Point out the levels. Hang on a minute. Most important zones of resistance and support. Muy importante. We got the range point of controls. It is also the previous week high and previous week close. We got the weekly close today. That's where we rejected on Friday. So, I mean, we can see that previous week high and close is, you know, providing that support and that resistance. It's been proven throughout Wednesday and Thursday, finishing on Friday. So I have to say, there's no I'm not, if the price does manage to take out this zone, I think it's going to likely break. I think we're going to get a little bit of get out of the zone. Where it becomes more interesting is coming into this area. We don't have any major high volume levels here in this area. I mean, let me just get the volume profile on the chart from this range. That'll be easier. There is something, but it's not enough. We're gonna have to see how the price develops, but I have to say that I don't have any short position in this zone. Even though if it SFPs or not, an SFP is an SFP, right? What can we say? If it's given, we can maybe take it, but I think that the price, if it does reach this zone, I think it's going to squeeze out $1,000 or so. It is going to manage to squeeze out, in my opinion. So yeah, not many levels that we have here on the chart between 93.3 and 92k. There's literally nothing in this area. Bit of volume, but there's not much. So shorts naturally are not, I'm not interested in shorts in this empty gap area, especially considering the Elliott wave scenarios that you could get a pop out here in a wave 3 followed up by 4 and 5. Okay, that's definitely what could happen in this zone, unless you get that exhaustion into this area after the big wave. So you need the big wave to pop out, and then the price needs to get exhausted here into the 93k zone. Until I do not get this price action, I will not be interested in a short position. So will we get it or not? Well, we're going to have to see. For the moment, the probabilities are looking nice and juicy to take out 92K. And anybody that is going to be attempting to quickly short the pump here is probably going to be punished. It's much better to wait for the exhaustion into this territory and then look for the short position. And I want to explain a little bit of the different waves that could get developed as we do get up there, because there are a few ways on how the price can get up there and what are we looking for the short. So anyway, let's go through. I've gone through the comment section. Let's talk about the higher time frame scenarios, okay? Like, subscribe, hit the notification bell. Let's go, Mark Dutch. Much love to you. The legend himself. Suzanne, much love. Big tail whale. Meme cat, hello. I feel bullish. AF. Meme cat, much love. Susanneros. Susanneros, how are you doing? I think you might be right. Big tails. Where's big tails? What's big tails saying? Might be right. Paz Maria. Much love to everyone. Paz Maria Vallecos. Where's big tails? Big tails whale. You might be right. You might be right. I want to see what. Scalp long, swing shorts. End of the day. Scalp long, swing shorts. Yep, 92K first. Maybe really short-term Sunday. Irrelevant price action, but take ugly lows before the 95K makes sense to me. Yeah, make sure to get your votes in here. I'm going to go through the possibility of what could happen and what I want to see for the short. Okay. And I don't have any shorts right now to be taken as the price action is moving up. This could be building multiple 1-2s, and if we do get a spike up here, I have to say I don't have any shorts in this region. We would have to get the information of moving up and then getting exhausted here, and then the two of the scenarios is getting A, B, and C. Or it's literally 1, 2, 3, right? 4 and 5. You actually form an impulse here. But obviously the short is interesting because if this ends up being an ABC, and then you roll down, or it can be a correction. Regardless, this is the zone that I'm interested in shorts. I need to explain a little bit with the waves on what we're looking for here. Okay, I will go through that in detail now in the next coming minute, but I'm just going through the comment section. Make sure to get your votes in here on what comes first for the price of Bitcoin, as my man here, Pretty Pix, is saying that taking out 87K lows, right, 86K, looks better than taking out 95K. And I would have to kind of agree with you here a lot, because the thing is, the range highs has been swept already, right? And all of these lows, all of these higher lows, right? You've been forming these higher lows, and the range that we formed since November, the highs have been taken. And it makes complete sense, right? That you would say, look, all of these poor lows, right, need to be taken. Without a doubt, it looks incredibly attractive. So, if for the moment the probabilities locally are higher to take out 92K. So looking for shorts in this zone heading to 93K could be looking very attractive. Could be looking very, very attractive, unless we take out here the local lows at 90,200, and then this looks very, very a sideways complex correction, and we just break down. But I would prefer, it would be nice to get that movement up to this zone. I have to say, you know, yeah, the only short that I could take here, looking at this price action, is if we take out these lows right over here, right? So which is, yeah, not these ones, these ones. The only short I could take is if we do climb down here, sweep up the lows. I would have to be looking at, I would have to look for some kind of a WXY sideways correction. So you might sweep up the lows, get a decent bounce here. The overall, I mean, this is an idea, of course. Not that, you know, you might think all of this Elliott wave nonsense, but it can be a little bit confusing here still. Zigzag up, correct, move down in wave X, and then you got 3 wave up. You get a 3 wave down to sweep up the local lows of the weekend, and then a big rally. Then you know, if only by taking out the lows at 90,250, I would be interested in looking at the next steps here to maybe jump into the short. But right now, with what we have, the probabilities are, you know, are high for, you know, well, they are high. That, you know, there is the potential of taking out 92k. And with the local price action, you know, there's no shorts to be taken, because there is that bullish scenario that takes out 92k. So for me to look for shorts and understand that this structure would be coming to its end stages, would be taking out at least 90,250. The moment you take out that low, then, you know, nothing bullish is looking attractive from this low. You know, there's nothing bullish. This correction would extend a little bit too much. Yeah, what can I say here? I'm just going to take a look at the timing from this low to this high. Yeah, it definitely is a problem for the bulls if you take out 90,250. You know, there's not the only bullish movement that you have here is this one, and the only bullish scenario is a flat and multiple 1-2s. You take out that 90,250, and then the probabilities increase that what you formed here, zigzag up, move down, you know, is a sideways correction, and all of this ends up being very, very corrective. Of course, as soon as you take out 90,250, I'm somewhere in this region, but I need the information. Of course, information would be either forming that flat, take out the highs, would be interesting for an SFP here, because at the end of the day it would be W, X, Y wave in a flat. But yeah, just by taking this low, then probabilities will increase that this is likely corrective and that we could take out this low. So and this would be coming to its end stages. So yeah, taking out 92, the only way that locally here, the only way I could get into a short is after taking out 90,250. After taking out that low. And the good thing about this short, it wouldn't be a scalp. You know, this is the kind of short that you are looking to enter at some point. You know, give a bit of room for stop loss. We need to take out that low at 90,200, but I would be aiming, you know, minus 87k. So it would be a bit of a day trade swing short, could take a few days, but yeah, you're likely finishing this wave. You know, this would be ending, breaking down, but you need to, I need the price to take out 90,250, because then I realize, right, this is coming to its end stages. A bullish scenario from this low, right, it's just highly unlikely. Nothing bullish about this momentum if 90,250 is taken. If 90,250 is not taken, it's looking very sexy to take out 92k. So that's the weak point over here for the bulls. This pivot is the weak point. we hit that 19,250. Likely this is a sideways correction. We end up breaking down. We don't take it, and the possibility of forming multiple 1-2s here and snapping out in a wave 3 is available at the moment. So when we think about, somebody was saying that we do, I am looking for the price to take out 87 to 86k before we take out 95k, right? Which is the highs of the range. Which, in simple terms, understanding that it's a liquidity game, as we formed higher lows from the pivot, right, low of 80,500, and the range highs has been tested, you would believe that, we've finished business here. Business has been finished at the highs of the range. We swept it, we're moving down. So what you would think is that business has not been finished down here, right? We need to finish business beneath 87k. It's I do get it. It's obviously the natural way of thinking when you're in a range, right? Sweep up the highs of the range to then sweep up the lows or the higher lows. It's just, right? It's simple, right? So if we do take out locally that 90,250, some way or another, I'm going to look to try it to jump into a short later on, because the probabilities would be higher that this is an extension correction, right? As long as that 90,250 is not taken, then obviously it looks interesting for the bullish case, which is a wave 1, ABC flat, 1-2, 1-2, 1-2 potentially right now, and end up breaking up in a third wave. Now, let's go through the bearish case scenario, which is this scenario right over here. Bearish case after taking out 92k. You have a leading contracting diagonal to the downside, which we label as your wave 1 or your wave A. You have your movement up here that we label your wave A, and your B wave is a flat. So this does not end up being a 3-wave structure that we had between Wednesday and Friday, but it's a flat movement to finish your B wave. So you got your A and your ABC flat for your B. Then you have your multiple 1-2s, 1-2, 1-2, 1-2, crucial to maintain above 90,250. So that this structure can be labeled as multiple 1-2s, where you have your wave 1, 2. What we're looking at here is your 3 and 4 and 5. Hang on a minute. Let's just put this at like that. And then what we would want to see here is another 1 and 2. You end up breaking up here in your wave 3. Now, let me just put this on like this. No. I'm not sure if you guys are gonna be managing to look at this, but the idea here is that this could be building up a third wave to the upside, right? Now, a C wave is developed by 5 waves. If this is an A wave and this is a running flat for your B, then in the bearish scenario, we would be looking for an impulsive move here. This would have to be multiple 1-2s getting developed to then, squeeze out here, opening on into Monday, right? Ending Sunday. Squeeze out with a bit of power, and then followed that move. What you want to see is the continuation here, very similar to the 1-2s that you've had here. So you want to see that exhaustion. That's where it becomes interesting. potentially coming into levels of resistance, which would be, you know, the yearly level, daily level up there. That's very far away. It depends on how powerful this third wave is. So you know, the third wave, I don't know how the third wave is going to develop. We don't, you know, usually minimum target is the 1.618 extension, right, from your second wave 1 and 2. So that would be pretty shallow, just under $92,000. It could explode out. I do not know how this wave could develop. What I do know is the next steps. So this is why, you know, if you're looking to short the massive pump here, you know, that's a bad idea. It's a bad idea, bad idea. Any shorts in this zone, you know, it's just a bad idea, because, you know, what you would expect is a third wave breakout. Third wave breakout is followed by that, you know, 4 and 5 structure. So that's the moment that you want to look for the short position, right? When you get that exhaustion. So, I mean, will this happen or not? Well, yeah, it has potential. Let's leave it that way. This price action, and as explained, wave 3 could finish here, and then it does the 4-5s here. Wave 3 could finish all the way up here, and it gets to 93k plus, and there it gets exhausted, right? I do not know where that wave 3 is going to finish. What I am looking at is this. I'm looking for the exhaustion. That's where I look for the double triple tops, because that's the zone of reversal. So, you know, will it come all the way up here, all the way up here, or here? I don't know. But I know that I'm looking for this. I'm looking for the exhaustion after the big move. Where's the exhaustion going to happen? I don't know, and I don't need to know, right? I know it's going to happen at some point. And obviously, when I do count the waves here, you have 1, 2, 1, 2. You know, at least have 2 1-2s. So I'm looking for at least 2 4-5s in this zone. After the third wave, right? So obviously the biggest cluster of resistance is heading all the way up to 93,000 plus. You know, I'm not sure if the price is going to manage to reach up there. But naturally that would be a relatively explosive move to the upside. It could reach there. We've got a daily level, a yearly level, a point of control also at 93.7k. You know, the yearly level, it would be the 7-8 Fibonacci. We do like steep movements to the upside if we are believing that this is a leading diagonal. Preferably the zigzag is pretty damn steep. Usually, if this is going to be bearish, you don't usually have a shallow correction after a leading diagonal if it is going to be the case. So I would say that at least, you know, we'll be looking for the golden pocket, which is coming in at 92,700, to start then thinking about the exhaustion, right? The rejection. But, you know, that big move up, the exhaustion needs to happen somewhere in this territory. Regardless if we get above 93k or not, you know, that's the moment that it could be looking interesting for looking for the double tops or the reaction. Once you get that second 4 and 5, the fifth wave is where you want to look for the you know, rejection, either at the point of control, the yearly level, or the double triple top. We're gonna have to see how this develops, but it's a matter of trading as a patience game. I know what I'm looking for, and I know that shorting in this area is just not part of the game. And you might find out tomorrow why this was not a good area to short, right? So let's see. Maybe later on is interesting. Now the bullish case would be breaking out in, you know, this is a corrective structure, and the bullish case would be, this is your wave 1. Instead of an ABC, this is your wave 1, this is your wave 2, and, you know, what we're looking at here is your wave 3, 4, and 5. Now, the problem is with that, smash up the like button, guys. I know this is, I know it's heavy. It's heavy, guys, but we'll see how the price, probably follows. And, if we take out this low, that's it, guys. I'm looking for shorts. But, yeah, basically the bullish case is that this is your wave 1, ABC flat, multiple 1-2s developing. Then you get your 3, 4, 5s. As explained, instead of this being an ABC and we roll over, instead of it being a 3-wave structure and we roll over later on, it ends up being bullish. This, instead of being a contracting diagonal, we look at it as a corrective structure. You get your 1, 2, your wave 3, right? They would be developing here, multiple 1-2s. You get this snap out, high volume increasing, right? And then you start moving here into your 4, 5s to finish your third wave, maybe getting to 93, 93.5. Then the movement down, of course, yeah, it's interesting to look for a short, because if this ends up being a lower high, then yeah, we're looking to get to 87k, right? Minus 87k. This is how we want to get positioned. Spot the 5th wave, spot the double top, triple top, levels of interest. We got a daily naked point of control, yearly level that has been tapped, but I'm going to leave that yearly level, which is literally the yearly open, right? And look for one of these levels to get a reaction, but you need that exhaustion. You need that exhaustion after the big move. In the bullish case, you end up forming a wave 4, and all of this becomes a 5-wave impulsive move to the upside. So yeah, I do not know if this correction, this short that I'm looking for, is going to roll over, or if it is going to be corrective and get another high. I do not know that. Nobody knows. I know we can reject if we were to get that leg to the upside here on the exhaustion, looking for a wave 3, looking at levels of resistance, either wave 3 or either wave C, because this could be a 3-wave move to the upside, and then we roll over, right? But so, this is going to be the interesting zone to maybe look for short positions. But gonna have to remain patient, of course, get to the zone and get exhaustion and understand the different scenarios. So anyway, I will be updating the community if I do see something clear. Of course, the only position that I have right now, which I'm happy to be in, is the long position that was provided here on YouTube on Thursday. Still holding that long position, still compounded a little bit, have taken most of the profits, but I would be happy maybe to compound a little bit more depending on how we get the momentum to the upside. But overall, most of the profits have been taken on this position. Still have a nice 30%, still open, 20-30% approximately, to see if we do maximize profits, right? Regardless, I don't have any short position here at the moment, but if I do enter a short at some point between today and tomorrow, it would be likely maybe tomorrow. It depends on the price action. I am happy for that $92,000 to be taken and get an explosive move up. Then shorts, we would have to be remaining patient later on, but I will eventually. First of all, if I'm not doing a live stream on YouTube, will be given in the community. Now it is your chance to give that 30-day trial, guys. You just need to follow some instructions. We've been working on this for the last few months very heavily with coaches, guidance, education, setups. It's a packed up community, guys, and it's your chance right now to see it. If you haven't joined, okay, for 30 days for free. Make sure to send me promo DM on Telegram, and this is only going to be available till the 14th of January. And I can tell you, we've got a few coaches there. I've got my updates myself, and I will be updating there consistently more than on YouTube, because YouTube is mainly Monday to Friday, New York Open, right? Where we might see opportunities, we might not. And obviously I'm always looking at the charts, what, you know, overall, even though I'm not doing it on YouTube. You know, this is the problem with a trader, right? You always have your phone and you always know what you're looking for on the chart to maybe take a position. Now is your chance, guys. You do have the Telegram down below, 30-day free access, and the trading playbook that we've also been working for a few months, me and Devolt, all right? This is where you get how to read structure and high probability setups, all readable, super nice for you for free, guys, as well. Send me promo, and you just need to follow the instructions, of course, that I do give you to get that access and the trading book. Much love to everybody. Thank you very much for joining today's live stream. Let's go, let's go. Sound is fine. Is the sound okay or not? If I would have taken that short at the point of control, which I did not, I would have been out of the position here. You know, shorts not looking interesting for me anyway. But if I would have sniped the short, I would have taken it as a scalp. And local longs would have been interesting if we would have swept these lows. Now this is actually looking promising for the bulls. Huge amount of shorts entering on Bybit are getting punished at the moment. So that's what you want to see looking at the delta. You want to see also looking at the CBD. Look at these shorts entering on Bybit. It's absolute insane. Rolling over here with massive shorts at resistance. They think that they were going to, you know, get into the top here before going to 87k. That is not the case. They're getting squeezed out at the moment. Just not an area that I'm interested in doing anything here. As explained, I would rather maintain long. Jumping into a long here, it's just one of those areas that is, you know, a little bit tricky. Sweeping up these higher lows would have been interesting here to execute that long. What can I say? This one right over here. One, two, or another 1 2 1 2 here. So there's either 3 1 2s or 2 1 2s. It depends if you form another 1 2, or maybe this one is the one that breaks out already with some high volume and gets above 92k. We're gonna have to see. But yeah, I'm not too interested in taking a short here. Much love to everybody. Bathmadiayakos, it's a super nice community. I love waking up to Andy's and Devil's updates. Much love to you. Thank you very much for the kind comment. Let's go. Giving a little bit of love and power from the community. Much love, Bathmadiayakos. Shall we short now, Sensei? Yeah, as explained throughout the stream, the only short that I would have gotten in, I'm not interested in shorts in this zone, I have to say. You know, I would prefer getting the movement up and then getting exhaustion in this area. Then it could be interesting to look for the shorts. I've explained a little bit if it could be an ABC or it could be a 1 2 3 4 5. It ends up being impulsive. But if we do take out, you know, I would have to, I'm not in a short here, I'm not in a short here, I'm in no shorts. So if I take a short, the pivot where I understand is a sign of weakness is this pivot, and that all of this is likely going to be a sideways correction to then only roll over finally, right, to get to $97,000. Sorry, 87k-ish, right, which is the higher lows where we have that huge amount of liquidity. This is the area, obviously, that a lot of people are aiming for, and lots of people want to get into shorts to sweep up that liquidity. I also want to jump in, but the market is cheeky and the market gives us information, and I have to say the market can be a little bit cheeky in the next 24 hours, and it could get a little pop to 92, 93, and then we'll have to see if we get exhausted there. as explained on the stream, to look for that potential C wave, if it's not a third wave, where I would be looking for the short eventually, right? Because it would be a pretty nice swing short. It would be a pretty nice movement down of, you know, $4,000-$5,000, right? From 93 to 87, 92, 93 to 87, $5,000-$6,000 potentially. You know, this is what we want, right? This would be what we want. Now the question is this the lower high, or do we get up here? It is looking okay for the bulls, as explained with the information that we have here. It is actually looking okay for the bulls to take out 92k. The moment we take out 90,250, it's going to actually be looking pretty good for the bears. And I would be interested in looking for a short here. My favorite scenario would be a flat and then roll over. But I will be updating, of course, throughout tomorrow morning in the community, eventually hours before we go onto the live stream. Depending on the information, there might be a nice little setup that we can get in before we go live. So we're gonna have to see here. But where we're currently at, not interested. Just maintaining that long position. Hopefully we do get to at least 92, 93, and that's the moment that I would be collecting some profits and looking for that day trade to swing trade short, with the idea of going to 87k, 87, 86k, right? We're all looking at that liquidity. I do think it's going to be hit regardless of how high we go here. You know, that we are likely gonna come down. We ain't going to all-time high without coming down to this zone, right? So shorts are looking interesting as well eventually, and I am looking to position myself, but I need confirmation, sign of weakness, or sign of exhaustion of the bulls. I need a little bit of things that need to combine to take that execution, of course, safely, because we want to make some profits here, right? Yeah, that will be eventually told in the community, guys. Please remember, I know there's people that have been waiting for this for the last couple of weeks. That is the trial, guys. You need to follow some instructions. We have it right now live, okay? This promotion, free access, closes at the 14th of January, guys. January 14. So this would be on Wednesday. On Wednesday, we're not giving this opportunity again, all right? We've been working on this for many months, and you also have the free trading playbook, okay, where you have how to read the structure and high probability setups inside of that book that we are going to give you for free as well, okay? Message me promo in the Telegram, and let's jump you in the community for 30 days to see if you do like it and you make some decent profits, right? Let's go, Mark Dutch. Much love to you. Derivatives trading, 5x in a row for me. I could use some comedy. Okay, guys, for anybody that doesn't know, I had a very, very strong issue by saying derivatives in the past. I actually trained for this, Mark Dutch, looking at the mirror and saying derivatives, derivatives, derivatives. But yeah, I definitely had a problem by saying this word in the past. I probably still have. I think I'm saying it right, and I'm not. Derivatives. Much love, Mark Dutch, to you, brother. People at home are getting alerted because Bitcoin moving. Yeah, well, it's moving a little bit. Moving a little bit. 91k just hit. 91k just hit. I've explained a little bit of the plan. Not too interested anything in this zone. As mentioned, if you would have shorted that point of control, you know, you're out basically right now, right? This double top or any of that, I do think that, you know, this is not my game. There's no shorts for me to be taken in this area. And if it does end up rejecting, you know, it's just not my game. It's not my game. So Still in the long position that was mentioned on Thursday and compounded ever so slightly. My position is just beneath these higher lows, just because if we take out this low, I understand that we're unlikely gonna move to higher levels. So it is important to maintain currently above 90,250. My long position is just slightly below, from that pivot. Well, quite a bit. Still have a lot of room, but yeah, still maintaining that long from last Thursday. See if we do get that momentum to 92k plus. We'll be scratching a bit more profits. This long trade was taken on Thursday on the live stream. We did SFP, we executed the long nicely, and still maintaining, as it does have the potential to actually squeeze the momentum to the upside. Traded on Bluffin, one of the greatest platforms out there. Bybit is very good. Binance was good. A long time since I haven't used Binance, but Bluffin is super good. This is one of the main exchanges that I use in the last few years. Works absolutely phenomenal. You do have that bonus, guys, down below. All right, for Bluffin, you can get VIP 1 as well as soon as you sign up for 30 days with the link down below, guys, on Bluffin, which is absolutely phenomenal. Okay, you got it on the link here. Bluffin, sign up, VIP 1, low fees, and up to $1,000 deposit bonus that you get on Bluffin. Derivatives. Much love, Mark Dutch. Next 15-minute candle will. Not sure. Have you ever watched a graph for 24 hours straight? I have to say I haven't. For 5-6 hours, maybe yes. But yeah, 30 minutes to 1 hour should be enough to get a solid analysis on a chart. 30 minutes to 1 hour would be my average to get the levels, get the waves, get the scenarios. If I want to go deep in lower time frame, it might extend to an hour, 30 minutes, and create the plans, create the probabilities, and then obviously wait for the levels and wait for the execution. Much love to everybody. Thanks for joining today's live stream. Much love. Education, let's go. We did give a little bit of education throughout the stream as well. Thank you very much. It is Sunday. I'm going to go with my missus, take a walk, and who knows, maybe something else. Let's see. Much love to everybody, okay? Remember that you do have the 30-day trial, guys. Just send me a DM, send me promo, and we'll get you the instructions to get you the trading book and also get you a 30-day trial in the community, guys. Much love. Bulls playing on Sundays. Don't trust a Sunday pump, they say. Much love, guys. Thank you very much, and I will see you tomorrow at New York Open. Have a great rest of Sunday. Ciao. Goodbye.